Hey, Bruce. Tom is on an incredible streak with the 15 touchdowns and just the one interception. He hasn't had many of those even in his career. So when you look at it, like specifically, what sort of change maybe about the play calling or the collaboration? And can you kind of look at the first three games as almost what would happen in preseason in terms of just getting adapted to things?
It really is. I mean, just takes time. I think the lack of continuity also uh,
Yeah.
hurt him a bunch. Now, hopefully, we can have some continuity going forward, and he can continue to work with timing and all those things. And I think Byron done a great job of just having him ready to play, and him seeing the coverages and where we want to place the ball, and obviously listening to him on things he likes also, and incorporating them in the offense.
And with Mike Evans, we didn't see him get a target until the second half. He's been playing, with that bad ankle. Can you speak to just his willingness to go out there and battle through it and maybe draw some heat off of other guys, just what we're seeing with this guy?
Yeah, Mike's the ultimate pro. I mean, he's a warrior. I mean, he probably should never played in Chicago, but he'd have beat me up, but I had to fight him to keep him off the field. That's just the kind of guy he is. And, we're going through the Rolodex over there on the sideline trying to, how the heck we going to get this guy a target? We put him in the middle of the field. We put him outside. And finally, we broke loose and got him he got a couple of PIs against him also. But, we're trying to target him as much as possible, but we got to do a better job of it also. But I think in the four wides, now that he's inside, we can get him some more balls.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Next question will come from Greg Allman.
Hey, Bruce, I just want to ask you about red zone in particular. It continues to be an area where you guys are especially sharp, especially third downs in the red zone. And just what the key is to having success in such a high leverage situation.
I think it's a good understanding of and spacing. Our guys they know our spacings, and Tom's done a great job of delivering the ball down there. And when there's an all-out pressure, he gets it out. When there's dropping 8, he creates. And so I think it's been a good collaboration. And then running the football down has helped. Can't remember the last time I think we're 20 for 20 and goal to go. I don't think I've ever had that in my 27 years in this league, but it's really good execution. And the offensive line is doing a hell of a job too.
Bruce, on defense, you guys have had success last week or two using a dime at times. And I know that the key is kind of having a decent defense against the run in case that pops up when you have 6 DBs on the field. But just want to ask you what you think that the key is in knowing when to use it and why it's worked well for you.
Yeah, I think it is knowing when and why, and it's usually known passing situations. But again, runs can pop up, and again, our nickels have to be able to play like linebackers, nickels and dimes. When they're in that situation, they got to read their run keys and then cover their guys. But it's a good mix-up because it allows us to put a lot of different numbers out there moving around, and it's really hard to block.
Thanks, Bruce.
You bet.
Next question will come from Jenna Lee.
Hey, Coach. Levante David and Devin White seem to be having a terrific year. I want to say White had another double-digit tackles yesterday. What allows those guys to work so well together?
Well, first of all, they're both extremely talented, but that front in front of them is doing a heck of a job of keeping people off of them. But they play sideline to sideline. They're great in pass coverage, and their speed just shows up all the time. And when we drafted Devin, we wanted a guy that was an extremely fast, big leader in the middle of our defense, and he is really blossoming right now.
Does Devin, some of Devin's success, is that because of the fact that you can, because I know Devin's rushing the passer a lot, because you can trust a guy like Levante in coverage per se? It seems like their strengths, they kind of play off each other really well in that regard.
Really, really good. It's a great combination. And, normally when we're rushing those guys, JPP and Shaq might be dropping in the coverage, and they're doing a really good job dropping in their zone coverages. Nacho did a good job dropping underneath yesterday and helped get a sack. So because he took away a shallow route. And so it's been – Todd Bowles is doing a great job with all those guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Next question will come from Ira Kaufman.
Bruce, the Giants are not having a very good season, Bruce, and on the horizon is the rematch with the Saints. national TV. Antonio Brown could be in there. So, Bruce, is this the type of game, this Giants game, where the presence of a Brady with his experience and his drive really is going to help in terms of not having any kind of letdown?
I don't think there's any doubt. Yeah, I mean, not just Tom, but Levante and Sue and all the guys, JPP, defensively, Levante, the leadership we have over there. We know we're not. If we're not going to play our best, we're going to get beat. So anybody in this league can beat you on Sunday if you don't bring your A game, and we'll talk about it all week. But we're playing the Giants this week on a long week, and then we have the Saints on a short week. So we better be focused on what we got at hand.
Next question will come from Scott Reynolds.
Hi, Bruce. When you look at the second half of the Bears game, the offensive line struggled in pass protection, but gosh, since then, Tom has had almost a clean pocket for 2 straight games. I think he was hit 1 time. Can you just speak to the improvement that the offensive line and your backs and tight ends have shown in pass protection since then?
Yeah, I think it's a collaboration of the tight ends, the tackles, the guard centers, everybody, and Tom getting the ball out of his hand. Nobody was happy with the Chicago game, especially the second half. And I think everybody's lifted their level of play since that game.
And then with Ronald Jones, he bobbled a screen pass, and if my memory serves, he didn't have any more playing time till the second half. Was that by design? Was that sending a message to him? What?
No, that was just we were in a 2-minute drive. Leonard's our nickel back now, so
okay.
So we got all Rojo. That would have been a big one too. He knows it too, and he don't usually drop a screen pass. But no, there's nothing to that. But
okay,
Leonard was doing good, and Ro's our guy.
Thank you, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Next question will come from Rick Stroud.
Bruce, along the offensive line situation, when you can run the football, like the play action percentage that Tom has right now is off the charts, So is part of that pass protection the ability to run the ball and slow those guys down a little bit? Obviously,
and no doubt. Yeah, Rick, all the way. I mean, when you can, even a 3, 4, but you start popping some 8s and 9s, and you run off that, you play action off that same action, and our offensive line is doing a good job of coming off the ball on those pass plays, and our tight ends that we're getting second level players stepping forward. Then they're dead in the play action game.
Next question will come from Kevin O'Donnell.
Hey, Bruce, obviously there's a lot to like over these last 2 weeks, but is there one particular part of the game that really has stood out to you about, the success you've had that really has been critical over these last 2 weeks?
Definitely the turnovers, getting turnovers defensively and protecting the football offensively. I think that's been the biggest thing. When we're winning that turnover battle by 2 or 3, then it gives us a great chance to win.
The secondary seems to really be elevating every week too. Finally, your rookie got a pick. How big was that to finally get one in his hands that you could hold on to?
Yeah, that was great. He got to break the ice, and again, he owes Mike Edwards dinner because Mike tipped that ball perfectly, just made a great play on it, and Twan caught it this week and got up and made a couple guys miss. So, I would have liked to seen Mike get to keep his because that was a great interception.
All right, thank you.
Next question will come from Ira Kaufman.
Hey, Bruce. Todd justifiably is getting a lot of pub about what he's done with this defense, this young secondary. The guy that's been lost in the shuffle, Bruce, is Byron Leftwich. Bruce, talk about his growth from year 1 to year 2.
It's been fantastic. I think, I thought he did a heck of a job with the offense last year, numbers wise. But bringing in Tom and it's been totally different. And he and Tom have a great relationship. So Byron's done a heck of a job, and I can't say that. I love his patience with the running game right now, and again setting up those chunk plays and passing game. So it's I think he's done a heck of a job with our offense.
And Bruce, if you happen to have a heck of a season and you lose 2 coordinators, I think you could live with it, Bruce, even though it would be bittersweet.
Yeah, we've got guys ready to take their place, and just in case that happens, and hopefully we go all the way and they both get jobs.
Thanks, Bruce.
Next question will be from Greg Allman.
Hey, Bruce, I just want to ask you about Steve McLendon. Obviously, he had a crazy week with only really coming in Friday, but to see him play 25 snaps and to see him as productive as he was with 5 tackles, just how pleased you were with how well he jumped right in.
Yeah, I mean, I love Steve. He's a great human being, and just speaks volumes. He jumps in the car. He has his clothes shipped in. He practices on Friday, and the look on his face in that locker room. That's the first game he won this year, and we knew we were going to have a 25 count game, and he had, I think, 5 tackles and played lights out inside. So it's been a great addition. I think, I can't say enough about Jason pulling that trade off, because he's exactly what we needed. Not just as a player, but a guy in our locker room too. And I can't say enough about Stevie.